Today is Thursday in the 15th week in Ordinary Time, and our reading is a continuation of the Gospel we've been hearing this week from chapter 11 of Matthew's Gospel. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light." The Gospel of the Lord. The word that jumps out of our text today is a word that perhaps is still familiar to the older members of our congregation, but for the children, for younger people, it's a word that they only know from museums, and that is the word yoke. Yoke was something quite familiar to people of agricultural societies, at least before the tractor was introduced. Yokes were intended to help cattle in the work that they had to do of pulling plows and pulling other vehicles. And a yoke could be heavy, became a symbol of slavery for the Jewish people, and being compelled to serve masters that were not of their own people. But a yoke has another purpose besides simply being an instrument of oppression. It's also an instrument that helps people work together. It's an instrument that allows the weight to be shared. In our own day, in our own society, the word yoke is very distasteful to people who are very concerned about preserving their liberties, their freedoms. And yet in time of pandemic, we know it's necessary for the safety of all that we follow the wisdom of medical officials who try to help us to preserve the health of the whole community. And that's going to involve letting go sometimes of what we consider to be our freedoms. We need to be able to give up our own egos, our own liberties. We need to, as Jesus tells us, become imitators of his own meekness and humility in order to be able to experience peace, in order to be able to help one another. So today, as we hear this gospel, let us pray that we may grow as imitators of Christ's meekness and humility, and may try to work together to face the challenges we face in our time.